That's funny. That was the original title of this. I regret retiring early. Um, the separate from the bad parts of retiring early, there's a couple of things that make retiring early worth it. One, I'm not so much retiring early, but I will actually tell you the story of a young man who retired by the age of 42. And you probably know him, but I'll tell you the name of him at the end. It's another story. You're gonna love this story. So there was a young man that, for one, he was incredibly smart. I would ask you as being, how close do you think you are about retiring? I am retired. I don't understand your question. But let me tell this story and then I'll answer your question at the end. Okay. There's a young man who was incredibly smart. He was so smart, in fact, that, and this is a real story because I've studied this person. And again, you know this person. So I'm going to tell you who it is at the end. Okay, cool. You're going to love it. There's a young man, he was very smart, but the problem is, and this is why I recommend that people read How to Win Friends and Influence People, because this young man was very smart, but he was an asshole. People hated him because he'd make people feel stupid. He would say what he thought, but but he wouldn't give people a chance to rebut, and he'd make people feel as little as possible because he was so smart and he would just make people feel foolish. That's not good. Never do that. But this young man, he actually was so brilliant. He went on to start a printing company when he was in his 20s. He went on to own a real estate. He owned multifamilies. He owned hotels. He was so good. He actually started lending money to other real estate investors because he had excess. He was an author in his 30s, multiple printing deals, and he had distribution across all of Europe and the US. Very cool. This dude was next level. He actually was so smart that he produced encyclopedias. I'm not sure if you know what this is, but almanacs were like information, but like with pictures and a little bit more stories, but they were like encyclopedias. But they were for very smart people. Very smart people wrote them to educate other people. Okay. It was based on heavy in research. So eventually, this guy wrote his letter, his mom, a letter. He wrote this letter in 1748. 1748, was it 1748? 1748. And he wrote this letter. He said, I have enough money, I have enough profits. I don't know what to do anymore. I think this is enough. And he wrote this at 42 years old. He's about to retire. He's done. He has money coming in from deals, he's lending money. He has multiple streams of income, one of the OGs of retiring early. Think about this. This is before it was cool. This is before the internet. And then he retired at 42. You know who that person was? That was Benjamin Franklin, the person on the $100 bill. He retired at 42 years old. And then he went on to be one of the founding fathers of America. Benjamin Franklin. Now, the reason I like telling that story is because that's one of the beautiful things about retiring early. When you retire early, you don't need money. So you can actually do more impactful things. Now, imagine if Benjamin Franklin just stopped when he became financially free at 42. He would not have been on the $100 bill. Yes, he was smart. Yes, he founded a printer. Yes, he owned property. Yes, he did all these things. But that's not what made him Benjamin Franklin. He had time and energy at 42 to actually do something that was meaningful to the world. And that's why we know him today. So think about that. That's one of the benefits of financially free retiring early. So then the good part of me retiring early is that I can go on YouTube at 2:49 in the afternoon and make an impact to somebody at halfway across the world. And I don't need your money. I can do this for free. That's the upside of retiring early. If you want to be that Benjamin Franklin, get to retirement as quickly as possible, so that you can actually, they can actually try to change the world. I think that's pretty cool.